What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. So we got the March employment report and job numbers in here with a lot of information here to show us how our economy is doing. Take a listen here.
We are just seconds away from the March employment report, and it's not like we're not going to be able to watch the reaction. The stock market might be closed, but we got this futures, equity futures, and bond futures. So obviously, we needed to be here. We need to see exactly what the reaction is. There are equity futures all in the red, just slightly this morning. And maybe more importantly, let's look at the 10-year, 2-year. I'd have that ready to go. There you go. Right now, 10-year. 336. Time for the report. Rick Santelli, what's the number?
Yes, the March jobs report everybody's expecting. I'm monitoring the wires. It should be hitting, and here it comes. Expecting 230,000 non-farm jobs. 236,000. 236,000, very close to expectations. And if you consider manufacturing was down 1,000 less than the 4,000 to 5,000 many were expecting. Let's get into the meat of this, shall we? The unemployment rate drops from 3.6 to 3.5. 3.5. The best it's been, or the lowest I should say it's been, was 3.4. That was January, unless there's any longer-term revisions. Up 0.3 on average hourly earnings. That's a month-over-month level. That follows up 0.2, and exactly as expected. And if you take a longer view, year over year on average hourly earnings, it's up 4.2%. 0.1 lighter than expectations, 0.4 lighter than the rearview mirror at 4.6. And 4.2 is the lowest level, post-COVID. That's the lowest post-COVID level. It had been July of 22 at 4.3. We usurped that. That is significant. And if you look at the average weekly hours per employee, 34.4, that's 0.1 lighter than expectations, 0.1 lighter than the rearview mirror. And this is also equal to the shortest week, which was December of 22. And it's been steadily moving down. Many employers probably don't feel like they need to overwork or get more out of every worker because it's more about layoffs and slowdowns at this point. Labor force participation. This is a biggie, huge, a new post-COVID high, 62.6. 62.6, which is exactly what it was in March of 2020, right on the cusp of COVID. It was 63.3 in February, just before COVID. The underemployment rate, or U6, 6.7. That follows 6.8. The best or the lowest it's been is 6.5, and like the general unemployment rate, that was in December, the last month of last year. We see that the interest rates, well, they have moved a bit higher. The cash market actually is open till noon, and yields have just popped to about 336. But the futures at the CME have also popped out. Futures are a bit higher. The markets are going to be thin. Many customers aren't going to be able to move any huge amount of size, but this report is generally about as expected.
We'll talk about what this could mean for the Fed raising interest rates here in a moment. You can see here the unemployment declines to 3.5%. It had ticked up to 3.6%. This is still around 50-year lows, as just in my opinion, inflation is still persistent as labor market shows strength. In my opinion, this just means a lot of people have returned to work, maybe even come out of early retirement and gone back to work because of how persistent inflation is. So, you guys let me know your thoughts here on why unemployment is so low. In my opinion, it's because of how high inflation is. Of course, it's not as high as it was, at least according to what the government tells us. But it seems like food prices still at an all-time high. I don't think food prices are going to go lower here. I think that they're going to stay near or at an all-time high. And I just don't think that we're going to see food prices come down. Do you? And also, we're starting to see gas prices come up. OPEC Plus with that million-plus barrel per day cut. This is on top of their 2 million barrel per day cut. This is an over 3 million barrel per day cut for basically the world, and this is just too much for American production to bear, to overcome. And this is going to make gas prices, a lot of analysts saying, going to bring gas prices on average to over $4 a gallon. I've seen your comments in the comment section. We covered this here a couple videos ago. Some places in the US already over $4 a gallon. California over $4 a gallon as well. But I've seen a lot of other places saying in the comment section that they're already over $4 a gallon besides California. And yeah, I think we're going to continue to see gas prices rise regardless of U.S. production. And this is U.S. weekly field production of crude oil. We're getting near the all-time high. We produce more oil here, which in relation turns to gas production here, than we did the day that Trump left office and the day Biden took office, which was around here, January of 2021. We're producing more oil and gas than that day. So not quite as much as pre-pandemic. So we're getting close. We're going up. We're getting close to those levels, but we're producing more than the day Biden took office. We're slowly going back up pretty much month over month here. But we just can't keep up with these OPEC plus, Saudi Arabia, Russia, OPEC plus cuts, 3 million plus barrel per day cuts. It's too much to overcome for global oil and gas prices. And then we have the Fed here, why it's possible to have too much employment in the U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell and the Fed going to be looking at this saying, do we need to raise interest rates here yet again? Because they're going to see a strong labor market here and think that there's too much employment in the U.S. Isn't this kind of sad? And I wanted to show you guys this here. I've seen this here online. If you secured a 30-year fixed mortgage on a $600,000 home at a 2.6 interest rate in 2021, you could get them lower than that at one point. You have the same monthly mortgage payment as somebody that just bought a $392,000 home at today's 6.2 interest rates. And remember here that first of all, let's just think about how insane this is. So basically, just 2 years ago, or less than 2 years ago, you could have bought a $600,000 home for the exact same monthly payment price as what a $392,000 home is today. So basically, a less than $400,000 home cost you what a $600,000 home cost you 2 years ago. This is what most people don't quite realize, how important interest rates are. And the exact same principle applies to credit card interest rates and any type of interest rate you pay, car interest rates, personal loan interest rates. Remember here, the credit card, this is absolutely just profound to me, absolutely insane to me to see this and to put this on paper here for people to see this, because a lot of people just say, oh, 6% interest rate, not that bad. Back in the day, they used to be 10, 15%. Back in the 80s, I think it was the 80s, they were actually at 16, 17, 18% at one point. So if you put that in comparison, yeah, it's not bad. But in comparison to where we were 2 years ago, look at the difference. I mean, you're basically paying $200,000 more for a comparable home just in 2 years. This is why interest rates matter so much, more than most people realize. And whenever interest rates start coming back down, For people that have those 6 or I mean, honestly, interest rates are more like 7% now. You can see here, yeah, you can see the average mortgage rate here at almost 7%. Almost 7%. So again, that was at 6.2%. So almost 7%. Going to be even higher. I mean, it could vary per state here. Arizona 7%. We'll go to New York here, 6.8. So you're going to see a slight difference here per state. Texas basically 7%. So a little bit of a difference per state, but I basically figured at 7% here. That was only at 6.2. Yeah, so then who does this hurt the most? Average Americans, low and middle income Americans. And don't forget, this affects your credit card interest rates too, because every time they raise interest rates, your credit card companies in the background are probably raising your credit card interest rates because credit cards are variable interest rates. They're not locked in rates. They can raise your rates at any given time. And I suggest to you that next time you get your statements, you look at them and maybe compare them to what they were a year ago and see, have they gone up 2, 3%, 4%, 5%? I don't think they've maybe gone up 5% in a year, but how much have they gone up? Because, and here's the even worse thing. Well, first of all, the average credit card interest rate is at like 20% or maybe even more. The highest credit card interest rates are at 35% around, which is absolutely insane. And those are very, very bad. Remember, those mortgage interest rates we were looking at are like 6 or 7%. Imagine what 20+% does to you on credit card interest rates. So this is why credit card interest rates, pretty much any financial advisor, I'm not a financial advisor, but if you go to one, they'll tell you credit card interest is pretty much like the worst thing you could do. So if you're in any type of situation where you can pay down any type of debt, always start with your credit card debt first. It's just kind of the best thing you can do if you want to get on that path. And here's the thing is that the Fed is probably going to be raising rates even more in the future. Now, maybe they'll stop and slow down. They're hopefully they'll stop and slow down. But I'll keep you up to date here on everything they're going to be doing and what's happening here in our country on a daily basis. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon after you subscribe. The best thing is it's completely free to do so. And new videos come out here on our YouTube channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to hit the like button and share these videos as well. Here's some videos you should watch next. The U.S. government might be banning some of your items, and a nuclear warning was just sent to Americans. That's right. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.